it's like there are some people, like Pepe was saying, who do say horrible things. This was not the guy. And for people to be laughing the way I'm like, they don't have, they haven't listened to him. They're just joining in what they see other people doing and thinking it's a moment to sort of try to mock the rights and the conservatives, but I don't believe it.
And by the way, I'll go on a limb and say each one of us at some point have done something very similar to what Charlie Kirk has said on this Clubhouse app. So it's like he really, it's really a low Clubhouse conversation at the end of the day that Charlie was having with these students. You know what I mean? So like literally every day we open up a room, we were having a Charlie-like conversation, and I guess we should be condemned for very similar kind of things. You know what I mean? Like there isn't anybody innocent on this app. To think that you're not obviously responsible for a little bit of your shit talking is completely bullshit. Like literally everybody on this app has done shit talking and has been an awful person. So does that mean that we get to find you and laugh at you after we shoot you?
Right.
I mean, it really comes down to that to me at this point.
Yeah, could you imagine anybody hear this happening and people laughing like that? And it happened to anybody. You're right, and it's not. There's worse things that have been said in this room than anything Charlie Kirk has said.
And that's the thing. It's like if this was like Nick Fuentes who got shot, I still would absolutely condemn it. But I can kind of see why he's a little polarizing, and I even don't think he's a good person. But he's just a homosexual that has a lot of influence. I don't know, these weird young people, but and really, it's an open secret. He's a homosexual. I'm not just saying that as an insult.
Well, are you projecting? You're from Discord, where the trans shooter who killed Charlie Kirk was also radicalized. Were you radicalized in Discord, Pascal?
Yeah, I was radicalized before Discord, bro.
I was gonna say, Pepe, and what's fucked up about these people condemning Charlie Kirk so bad? I was thinking about bringing my uncle onto this app because my uncle lives in the hood, like hood, like straight hood, like bullet holes in the houses, every fucking where, man. And even they talk the same way. They even talk worse. You talk to my uncle, I can't stand these fucking niggas. Trash everywhere, killing each other, shooting. Just a bunch of debauchery. I can't wait to get away from these niggas. Like, this is how good black people are talking that actually live in these environments. So they're even talking worse about the community than Charlie Kirk ever would. Go down to these hoods and talk to these people that are trapped. That are trapped and in prison in these fucking hoods, and they want a way out because they're tired of this YN culture running around here destroying everything. They're even saying the same fucking thing. The same thing happened in the fucking 90s. If you guys go back and do your research, when Clinton was running for office, this is why the 94 crime bill came into effect, because the Republicans were running very, very hard on the tough on crime stance. Why? Because it was black people that were begging for a change, because they were tired of seeing the violence, tired of the children getting gunned down. It was black people begging and championing for more police activity in their neighborhoods.
The 94
to clean up the fucking streets. Yeah. So what happened was the Democrats were running soft on crime, and they were losing votes from black people. Black people were starting to move over to the Republican side because they were the only ones talking about cleaning up this violence in the street and the drugs in the streets of these inner cities. So the Democratic Party, like they always do, they said, "Oh shit, we're losing votes, so we got to hop on the next, the new hottest trend to get these votes back." And that's when they started petitioning the 94 crime bill and all that shit. That's how that shit came into effect. So black people, again, decades ago, championed for more conservative politics in order to clean up their streets because they were tired of the bullshit.
You're exactly right. And one of the main reasons why the first George Bush lost is because he racialized crime in his ads. Not him in his words, but in his ads when they used that pillar in the ads against Dukakis. He ended up winning, but it stuck with him. And then we have Clinton come aboard. And you're right, Maxine Waters and a lot of them were for that 94 crime bill that comes to pass, and it was addressing a lot of the crime that was in California, where I was from, in Southern California, in Los Angeles. I couldn't wear a Raiders hat as a kid. But now what we have today, like you said, there are a lot of African Americans that sound just like Charlie Kirk. If you put them behind a curtain, you wouldn't know that it's not Charlie Kirk. There are a lot of very religious folks in the hood that say that you believe the same thing of, like, we got to get back to a man and a woman being subjugated, even though I don't agree with that, subjugated to the man and how they proceed in the household. So you're exactly right. We do hear this. What I will say to answer the question that Pepe is asking, again, it is how you address it. And one of the things about the way Charlie addressed things, especially when he cut it up for, to make it to real or publicity so that it would trend on social media, is he made it argumentative and he made it belittling to a lot of people. So it's not always what you say, but a lot of it is how you say it. And if it's a conversation from a place of the heart, as opposed to winning an argument, that's where the difference is.
I don't agree. I agree with you on that part, Trent, because I think we all have an inner troll in us, so to speak, right, Trent? So I think that, at times, of course, Charlie went down that road and did his inner troll. I mean, it'd be no different. He could be on the stage right now and he would do his troll piece, a little bit probably. But he always had a message at the end of the day. And I think, obviously, that, to your point, it might have been overshadowed by that trolling that I mentioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Okay, so yeah, I disagree. I think he kind of dished it how people gave it to him. I would see videos and there were a lot of assholes that came up and they were belittling first. And so I thought he was actually kind of nice in his responses most of the time. They made themselves look stupid. And he spliced it that way.
So would you say that it's like really no different than a clubhouse conversation, right? When you say where like you'll get somebody that comes up on stage that we've seen all day today, and like you'll have to call them dumb, the usual stuff. I mean, he just did it at a greater scale. You know what I mean? He had a lot more people that were listening. She left anyways, but that's kind of where I've been going with my angle. I don't know if I'm off in some weird land, but to me, at the end of the day, it was just a clubhouse conversation with a little bit extra ears and eyes, so to speak,
Matt, you're exactly right. And I'm going to mention them because you just came in here, the PhD. Y'all know PhD, right? Me and PhD are not from the same worlds, right? We look the same, but we're not from the same worlds. PhD, as many of you know, you've been very public about. Okay. I had some private conversations, and I'm not the only one. I'm not going to sit here and only be like, I'm the only one. I was the one who spoke to him. No, I'm not trying to do that. But the way I hit the man, I said, hey, man, if this is where you want to go, this is what you got to do. You're going to have to hit that knife at this point. At 45, it's unlikely that you're going to do it any other way. And, he was worried about doing it. But I didn't belittle him. I didn't say, oh, well, you're fat. You ain't never going to do this. You ain't never going to go do that. I said, I told the man, if you got the wherewithal to be a black male and get a PhD, you can lose the weight and find, what you're looking for out of life. And there's different ways. Y'all know, right? It's really easy to have punch down, Matt and Pepe. It's really easy to have punch down conversations, and I try not to have them, right? We can always, when somebody's hurting, they may be gay, they may be trans, they may be a little different in some way. It's very easy for us to get people, especially in a setting where we're comfortable, and punch down and say it's your fault. The crime is your fault. The fatherless homes are your fault. It's harder to have compassion for them folks and walk with them.
Yeah, but it is their fault. They're the ones choosing to lay down, have unprotected sex, have kids out of wedlock. Like what you're saying, Trent, is with all due respect, but you're going back to grown ass adults. We have to infantilize them, and this is the problem. We've infantilized these grown ass adults so much. Now we got to fucking baby talk them and give them a spoonful of Gerber fucking mush baby food in order for them. No, bro, that's not how the world works. Like, this is a problem. These people got to understand the world don't revolve around you. The world is a cruel place. The world is a cold place. Nobody has time to sit up here and prep and put icing and a cherry on top just to tell you, hey, you're fucked up. This is the problem.
Chick just sit on my. Chick said, "Man, forget them. I can't say it. I want to say it.
I mean, but look at our military, man. Look at the strategy our military uses, though. I mean, you think about it. Some of your most responsible citizens come out of the military. Some of the most productive, affluent, well-spoken, articulate black folks I've met in my life have come from the military. And what is the strategy? The world don't revolve. Suck it the fuck up, Buttercup. You fucking maggot. Get on your goddamn face and start pushing the fucking earth. Oh, you fucked this up? Yeah, you're gonna have to go run fucking 8 miles. You're gonna have to go fucking hike 7 fucking miles with a 150-pound pack on you. Like this, and we have some of our finest citizens coming from this organization. So we got proof that it works. We got proof that it works, man.
I wouldn't use the military as the way that you need to speak to the average person. I know what you're saying, right? That's the way to get through some people. It's not the way to reach necessarily the masses. And again, we've done in some respects, we've done a good job, but I'm not going to disagree with you no more. There's a lot more to go. If we're talking about African Americans, we do have to accept facts. That Siggy, the same thing that bothers you bothers me, bothers the hell out of me because I'm a statistics guy. Like when we can't even just say that the crime in Memphis and Detroit and Houston and Dallas and New Orleans, we know who it is. And that's the crazy thing. Like we know who it is and we're afraid to admit that this problem is ours, right? No, we're not the mass shooters of the churches and the grocery stores, which get a lot of publicity, but are relatively rare. The mass shootings every day, to Charlie Kirk's point, the mass shootings that happen every day around America, which is 4 or more people shot, happen in clubs and around the corner from the liquor store and at the barbecue or whatever. And there are people that look like me. And it's usually 18 to 24-year-old black males. That's where the problem is. We know where the problem is. And so if we can accept it and recognize that this is the problem and this is where we need to hone our focus, we'd be a lot better off instead of, like Al was doing, trying to pretend like stats from Idaho or other problems.
Pepe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, give me the beans so I can get this fucking room popping. Like, we're getting beat by that fucking cocksucker.
I'm not. This room is in a competition.
What the heck? They get one.
Good evening, Pepe. Everybody.
Well, Lee should start inviting everybody on stage. I mean, that's how you get the room.
You don't hear me talking? You don't hear me talking?
Oh no, I do hear you talking. You too melanated for me to care.
All right. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at liberals, and I don't know why they're You're saying I think some of the things like even the Krasensteins, they like follow me. I followed them back. I think they follow like most people, but they have like 1 million+ people, I think, on their accounts. But it's like, them saying, I found a lot of the things that he said deeply hurtful. But they didn't make fun of his death or anything. They're not that tasteless. But yeah, I still don't. I mean, I don't even know what he said that is deeply hateful. I mean, there's nothing that came out of Charlie Kirk's mouth that would anybody who's even remotely conservative and especially if they're like actually a religious Christian, he didn't say anything that was like out of line. I mean, to me, people are just reaching.
Are you serious or are you joking?
Yeah, Hurricane. Well, maybe Hurricane will do so. Because I'd love. Can you think of anything that Charlie Kirk said that was wrong?
Where do I begin?
Okay.
What'd you say, Trent?
Black women, what he said about black women not having the brain capacity. When he said that about.
You
He
think
didn't
that's,
say
you
black women. That was misquoted.
do you think that's the worst thing he said, Trent?
No, it's not the worst. It's just the one that hits me. But go ahead, baby. It's good to see you.
Well, why does that one hit you? You're not even married to a black woman. What are you talking about?
What?
Hurricane, but can you answer Hurricane? Can you not deflect and answer Pepe's question? What did Charlie Kirk say
I
that
don't
was
know
false?
who you are. Okay, I'm here because of Pascal. So
Hurricane, you were asked a question.
I
What
know.
can you point out?
Listen,
Can you point out anything? Can you point out anything that? Can you point out anything? Can you point out anything that Charlie Kirk that has said that was false?
Sig, I just got here. I'm trying to warm up my seat.
It's fine. Hurricane and I don't agree on a lot of things.
We get along,
but we get along for the most part.
Like, what's your problem?
Because you were asked a question and you deflected.
I always answer Pepe's question. I didn't deflect.
Beaver, just invite everyone.
No, I think Trent ended up bringing up something.
Like I'm talking
so that's
to
how
Trent,
it happened.
bitch. What's your problem?
All right, so then let's start over. What has Charlie Kirk said?
Sig, I'm not here to talk to you because I don't like you. I don't like your tone. I don't like your energy.
There you go. That's another bitch. I don't like your tone. I don't like your tone.
I'm going to talk to Pepe.
Hurricane, can you please tell us, pretty please with the cherry on top, anything that Charlie Kirk
shut the
said
fuck
that
up,
was
bitch,
wrong?
and
Does that
stick
tone better
the
for you?
cherry up your
Does that tone
ass.
better for you?
How about that?
All right, you guys. Let's not attack each other. Please don't attack each other.
Yeah, like I came up and Trent asked me a question. Trent and I, we have a simpatico too. Trent and I were going back and forth, and you won't even let these two black men have their little thing before I start telling
I'm just curious. So, aren't you? You have Nigerian origin. Am I correct?
I'm black. Don't talk. Yeah, I'm a black man.
No. The reason I'm asking is I do. It's my experience, at least with Nigerians I've spoken to, that they do seem a bit more religious on it in comparison to Americans. Like, I could be wrong.
That is true.
Oh, well, sorry. What's your claim about Nigerians again?
Oh, the ones at least that come here to the United States, they seem to be a little bit more religious than Americans.
Super.
You mean more religious than white Americans?
Yes.
Very much so.
White Americans. Well, yeah, but that's because white people don't know Jesus.
Amazing.
Well, neither do you.
Yeah, you guys are infidels,
But I mean, do you think that for example, Christian part, like the Christian Nigerian diaspora would find anything like wrong with maybe his views on, let's say, LGBT stuff? Is it like I think Charlie Kirk, he was a religious person, like that was his main ideological bend. And I can understand how some people might think it's offensive when he says only, I don't know. I don't even know if this was his stance, but maybe he thought like committing a homosexual act is a sin. I mean, that's just kind of standard for.
Okay, so let me tell you a few things. So, are you familiar with Central Park 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with Yusuf Salam?
No, I'd have to look him up.
So he's a member of the Central Park 5. He is now a New York City councilman, and Charlie Kirk accused Yusuf Salam of rape repeatedly. He called him a disgusting pig who had gotten away with gang rape. The disgusting pig is a direct quote. Those are words that Charlie Kirk used, and he also said that Yusuf Salam got away with, open quote, gang rape, close quote. So he said that about Yusuf Salam, one of the Central Park 5. As we know, they were all exonerated. So that's one thing he said that I thought was distasteful and beyond the pale. He also said that prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. I'm looking up here for more quotes.
I know that about Mr. Blum.
He also said, no, well, he was not found guilty of. He was exonerated. So
yeah, I just didn't know
him up right.
You're giving me something. I didn't know that one.
Charlie Kirk also said the Jewish donors were the number one funding mechanism of radical open border neoliberal quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. He also said that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country, close quote.
But I did see that clip, but he did, and he's correct, and I don't think most Jews would even disagree. You do have like secular Jews who that are like very left wing, and that you have Jews on both sides that are kind of
the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed.
Hurricane, are you going to let Pepe
country
talk?
Wait, who's talking to me? Because if it's Sig, I'm not talking.
Go ahead.
No, it's not Sig.
You're a fool. I'm not talking to you.
Well, I would say that there is, if you know, I can go back into it. I would say the Jewish leftists always kind of if you look at a lot of the anti-whiteness shit that would even going back to the 60s that you would get more in academia, he's not incorrect. Like a lot of
Hold on.
Well, if that's the case, then let's just go ahead and say that let's just go ahead and say that you are happy to be an anti-Semite. Pepe.
Yeah,
because that's what that
no, I don't think that's anti-Semitic because
it is.
Absolutely not. Because
it is.
No. I'm picking out Jews. Yeah. Well, one second. Right after this, I would clarify that. First of all, he's saying what kind of Jews. He's not saying Jews in general.
He said Jews with money, Jewish donors.
Well, who else is going to do it besides the ones with money?
Well, yeah. So you say he's specifying a certain type of Jew.
Well, he's talking about secular Jews specifically.
No, he didn't talk about secular Jews. He said Jewish donors. He didn't say.
Okay, I'll play the clip.
He didn't say Jewish donors who are secular. That's not what he said.
All right, I'll play the clip.
Please play it. Okay. Perhaps there's a context that I'm missing, but go ahead, play it.
All right, hold on. Let me pull it up.
It might be the AIDS messenger brings hurricane.
All right, guys, don't. All right, so
and Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical open border neoliberal quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more, draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you...
So, and that's interesting. He said secular Jews, and now it's coming for the Jews. So it sounded like, and this is where I'm 100% correct. And you actually saw, let me put my headphones back in. You actually saw post October 7th, you saw that Jews, a lot of lefty Jews we're still funding these, giving endowments to these campuses. They were funding a lot of this far left bullshit. But then you saw something change after October 7th. They were riding that dragon. Hold on.
Are all secular Jews leftists?
Oh, well, hold on.
Are all secular Jews?
They don't let this black man control you.
Yeah, but no, but those are. It's the secular Jews that tend to be left. Yes.
Are they so? Okay, so secular and leftist; those two words mean the same thing when applied
No. But but the religious Jews tend to be more right wing. That's just kind of like religious people in general.
Well, he said secular. He didn't say leftist. So.
Well, yes. So he just talked about how secular Jews were funding all of these things that in the United States we would consider far left. And he said that basically they went around and started and now they're coming for the Jews, which is what you did. You had the people that were, I'd say most of the people that were doing the pro-Palestine shit, I would say most of these people were not like anti-Semites. They're not racist, but they were, I would say they looked at Israel kind of through the same lens they might look at the United States or Great Britain as this white settler colonialism,
Yeah, Marxist, all that crazy stuff.
Pepe,
Yes.
I got the answer
And then-
for you.
but
It's
hold on a second.
77% of secular Jews.
Mhm.
Bro, I was giving you the statistics.
Okay, what is it? 77?
77% of secular Jews are on the left.
That's a
Yeah, well, but he didn't say left. He said secular Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So
the secular Jews that were supporting that stuff.
So
but
I
then
suppose
they did
it's okay.
start kind of
So
going
it's
after
okay
Jews.
It's okay to target secular Jews, right?
No, he's
They're on
saying
the left.
he said that they had a lot of explaining to do, and basically was saying like, look, now they're coming. Now these people that you were supporting, like I'm guessing he's referring to Palestine or some shit. Now these people, these leftists, are coming for they're coming for all Jews, and so I think that's perfectly reasonable. That's not anti-Semitic.
I disagree, but it's fine. We don't have to agree.
All right, Pepe, you know how you have house niggers? Now you have a house Jew. You can ask them, do I think that it's, that Charlie Kirk was going against Jews? No. He was stating the facts that people like George Soros and Larry Fink, who are fucking piece of shits, are fucking indoctrinating all these fucking young kids, and that we need to wake up and smell the fucking, shit and see that, these leftist fucking Jews need to be fucking stopped.
It's so strange, Ken.
I'm his house tyke.
Yeah, Ken. I don't even know how you present yourself.
No, I do.
Yeah, you sound
Fairly
like
well.
you sound like you have bile running through your veins.
I do. A lot of it.
All right, well, let's not do the personal attacks.
Vile or vile? Yeah, it's definitely
Vile.
No, vile with a V.
B as in boy.
Okay, all right, this is boring. All right,
B as in boy. That's what I meant.
okay, all right.
Faggotry is wild, bro.
Yeah, who wanted to speak?
Yeah, it's a trend.
Okay, go ahead.
Sick. Go ahead, it's your room, baby. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trent. You got it, bro. I'll go after you.
Okay, Pepe, like, I had heard that comment before, and now hearing it, even in the context, it's a bad comment to make, right? Yes, a lot of, if you want to call them secular Jews, a lot of Jews do vote Democratic. I mean, we obviously know that just from congressional, with Schumer and Bernie Sanders and congressional leaders. But I think that's a terrible comment to make. And going back to the 60s, the reason I stopped is going back to the 60s, Jews were very, very helpful in the civil rights movement. A lot of those freedom riders were actually Jewish that went that went down to the South to help blacks in the civil rights movement. So my family, especially, we have an affection for Jewish people because they helped us when we was down. And I think there has been, and it's been broken over the years a bit, but there always has been a kinship with black folks right after the civil rights because of the Jewish help.
But blacks and Jews during that time were both conservatives majority. I mean, so yeah, they were politically aligned.
That's not true. They were not conservative. No, black people were not conservative at that time. You don't know.
Oh my God.
You don't know what you're talking about, Ken. The word conservative, as used in application to whites, doesn't even apply to
Okay,
black
Republicans, you fucking piece of shit.
No, I'm not. Listen,
Right-leaning.
You have bio.
Majority of Jews.
No, they were
Black
Democrats
people
back
were not right-leaning, please. Black people are not conservative the same way whites are conservative in this country. If you read
Conservative
enough,
values.
you know that. No.
Conservative Judeo-Christian values.
That's what conservative means. You're an idiot.
I mean, I would say blacks are somewhat more socially conservative on average than whites in the United States.
If you guys did any reading, you would understand that the word conservative doesn't even attach properly to black people when you're talking about politics.
Yeah, that's not how
not the way that you guys define conservative and apply it to white people. It does not apply to black people the same way. It is a useless word. If we're talking about how black people operate politically, it does not mean the same thing for us. But if you understood black people and knew them, you would know that.
I agree with her. We do use it. When we're talking about African Americans in his input.
Yeah, Trey, I'm not here to fight with anybody. I'm here to talk to Pepe. Pepe's fine, but all these other bitches, like.
Well, I just disagree with her.
Okay.
So you want to call me a bitch, which is your
Yes,
right.
you
You want to
are
go
a
off and call you a fucking faggot.
You,
Sound
yeah,
like
that,
you wear
that's
liquid
the
stones.
worst you can do.
I heard that.
You have a baby carrot dick, hoe. You have a baby carrot dick. Your dick doesn't even.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Trent, this is exactly what I was talking about.
She says
It's the women and these niggas with sugar in their fucking tank. This is the fucking problem. So the motherfuckers stood up here and cried and booed and whined about your tone, and all I did was ask him a question. But you want to come off the mic and call me a fucking bitch, and I never disrespected you, you fucking black faggot. That's the fucking problem. These are the problems.
I would hope that you would use correct pronouns and say she.
I mean, I'm going to say this when it comes to even the Jewish thing. I would say Jews have been like extremely fucking responsible for the I guess you could say the radical left bullshit you've seen in our country since the 60s. That is when the Jews, they started, a good number of them started, they were professors, they were very, as you could say, involved in the radical left-wing movements. Of course, a lot of it was, communist.
Let's have this discussion real quick before I go, Pepe, because I want to. And I like everybody. I try not to get personal and insult anybody. So Pepe, when you say radical left, what do you mean? What does that mean to you?
Oh, sure. So that would be like the, well, you had many different organizations. You had DSA, which I'd say is somewhat radical left. You had like the Weather Underground. You had the, Black Liberation or I forget that they ended up having a Marxist tilt. You had a lot of the activism, whether it was for racial, whether it was women's rights, whether it was, of course, a lot of it was economic. It was influenced by far left, like what we would consider like Marxist ideology. And that I would say the 60s is when you definitely saw it. That was a decade known for like a lot of protesting and movements, some of which were violent on the on behalf of the far left.
Vietnam War, but I'm talking about today. Let's not talk about yesteryear, like in 2025. And this is for all of you. What do you think it is the left stands for, or the far left stand for, and what do you think the right or the far right stands for? And I'm going to preface it by saying, I talk to both sides. I told you I live on the border, and I've lived in Texas most of my life. I spent a lot of time in Ohio, California, all over the country. When I hear both sides of the coin, they're both talking about the elites. So when I listen to you guys like Sig and Ken, when I listen to your complaints, it's often about rich people on the far left and on the far right. And I'd love to hear your points on that.
In a way, yes. Both of them will. So the far right, it will depend. There's many types of people or factions on the far right. You have probably the most extremist example I can think of are like neo-Nazi accelerationists. These are people like Timothy McVeigh. They seek to commit terrorist attacks, anticipating that it will cause social unrest, and then the law enforcement or the government will start trying to strip people of guns, and then people of color will attack them, and then they're going to do more terrorist attacks, and it'll bring down the country, and they can have their new utopian Nazi government or some shit. You have like white nationalists, which can be anywhere from, they're not that extreme to pretty extreme. You have what else? The Christian right. You can get some of them that go overboard on the Christian right, but then on the left, I would say you have people that are rather, like, I would say, Marxist purist. They're not people that have any lefty social views, but they are, they're communist, and they do see this as our capitalist country is like having a hierarchical structures that are oppressive, and they seek to change it for the benefit of the average working person to people that are, and some of these people, they tend not to be that militant, but then you get the ones who are militant. I guess you can start looking at Antifa. I would say in the 60s, like the Weather Underground, which was, notorious for bombing and shooting people. They were obviously radical leftists. And so
what I'm saying is, and this is for all of you, most of you want, like tariffs, that's a leftist ideal. That's
not traditionally. Paleoconservatives, that before you had to break with the new right, that new right was all for laissez-faire capitalism. The conservatives like Nixon and before, they love tariffs.
But basically building up the working class, right? Building up the working class, which is now what the populist movement is talking about, is basically in some ways a leftist construct. And so what I'm saying is the rise that I'm seeing through MAGA on the right and the anti-corporation and the anti-elite sentiment is the same shit that I've been hearing on the left for years. The parties are blending. They're really saying the same things.
Okay, now you're doing too much. The parties are not blending. Stop.
Okay, go ahead.
They're not blending.
There's convergence. There's a convergence of interest for sure. I mean, you do under George W. Okay, you would not see the right criticizing corporations and corporate interests the way that you have been for the last several years. But I would say this: is that, hold on. Well, hold on. Hold on.
He didn't talk about interest convergence. He said the parties are blending, meaning the parties are beginning to look more like each other. That's not true.
Okay, well, on some levels, but I would say this: like a paleoconservatives, the right that existed before. I would say when you had the Barry Goldwater Republicans and. Of course, what the fuck is his name? Reagan was kind of one of them. They were a lot different. If you look at like Nixon and before, these are people that were very protectionist. They didn't care about let's just look at the GDP. But their focus was on the American dream, the everyday American worker. These are people to be taken care of. We want to make sure that everybody has a shot at the American dream. So when it came to workers and their wages for the everyday American, that was front and center. That was put on a back burner with the new right. They were all about, in my opinion, more corporate greed.
Pepe, can I ask a question here? So I want to know your opinion about this, but I feel as though one distinguishing factor between the right and the left is identity politics. I think that if the right were to play with identity politics, what's the laughing? I'm being honest.
Well, the right does play with identity politics. It does.
It would not be accepted as it is on the left.
The right does engage in identity politics. You guys just decide to
It's not accepted. It's not accepted.
It is accepted. On the right, yes, it is.
Only in
it's not mainstream.
The right engages in identity politics.
It's not main.
Do you know what identity politics actually is?
So you just say I'm proud to be white on the right. Shit. Yeah, I don't accept it.
It's something you can do on the internet, and it's something that you see online, but you won't see it like any large platform. You can't really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't say that on mainstream television networks.
What about what the right does? What about what the right?
What do we do? What do we do when it comes to identity politics? Like, what do we do?
What has the administration done?
I don't know. What have they done?
Since taking over in January.
What have they done?
You know what it is.
I don't. Which identities is being attacked?
Answer the question, Hurricane.
Chase, I don't know who you are, so I don't talk to idiots who talk to me as if I'm their slave. So
I'm an idiot. That's true.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up, because I'm not an enslaved person. It's not 1866.
Right. Can you just answer the question so I can listen to this?
Hold on, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, guys, don't. Yeah, don't. let's not do the personal attacks.
He's talking to me.
Seems like you want to be enslaved, though. No one said that you were enslaved.
Bitch, you could never.
I know, guys, stop.
Well,
All right, guys, stop. I don't want to hear that. The bickering is so obnoxious. So, yeah, I mean, as far as him kicking out illegals, yeah, you can say that's racist or some shit, which I don't think it is. Transgenders, I think he stopped.
Okay,
Like,
I'll answer your question because you said
okay.
Lasara is saying that the right does not engage in identity politics, and I am saying that the administration, since taking over in late January of 2025, has engaged in identity politics. It has done so by, among other things,
How have they
claiming that
engaged?
DE. Was I done talking?
I was just asking you how have they engaged? Can you give us some
Was I done talking, Sick? Was I done?
Can you say it to be nicer, please? I'm just asking you a question.
Well, you were
Can you just give us an example of how
you
they
are
have?
rude. You are rude by interrupting me. The fact that you cannot concentrate for more than 5 seconds is your problem, not mine.
Can you pretty please just give us some examples of how they
Shut
use identity
up.
politics, please?
Shut up.
Please, Otis.
All right, guys, let's
Shut up. I was talking and you interrupted me. That's what you did.
All right, so, if, Hurricane, I do recall you were about to say like.
Yeah, I was about
you
to
were
say
getting-
something,
okay.
but the dumb bitch named Sid.
All right, come on, don't do that.
Why not tell Sid to stop?
Because
interrupting people who are answering
okay,
your
I did. I tried, told both of you to stop, but then like
No, I haven't
you're calling
heard
him a
you tell
bitch, and then
Sid
he's
to
gonna
be
respond.
quiet.
Holy shit!
When the administration said that it was going to do everything that it could to get rid of DEI, because DEI in the workplace is taking opportunities from white people and giving them to less deserving, less qualified non-white people. It was engaging in identity politics. That's just one example. It's called identity politics. Now we can disagree on whether it's good identity politics or not. We can disagree. That's a different conversation. But insisting that that is not identity politics is wrong, because what it is doing is singling out a particular identity and coming up with an agenda that is going to advance that particular identity. That is what identity politics is. Coming up with ideas, with initiatives, with policy measures that are going to work for the benefit of a particular identity. That is what identity politics is.
Oh, I get what you're
It
saying.
is simply incorrect to argue that the left is the only side that engages in identity politics. That's the only point I'm making.
I'm not making that
Both
point.
sides do it.
I'm saying that the identity politics on the right is not accepted like it is on the left.
Oh, wait,
That's
but it
what I'm
definitely is
making. I'm
accepted
making that
because all
I'm
of you
saying-
are happy. All of you are happy with what the administration is doing. You're happy about it. You celebrate.
I think Lasara's point's different. Lasara's point.
Lasara's not
point
really
is
making a
different.
point, actually.
No, I'm making a point. My point is that identity politics exist on both sides, except one is accepted and the other one isn't.
That's false.
That's not true.
That's false.
I think the point is, like, if you think about how Democrats apply identity politics, they literally go out of their way to make sure that they always mention minorities as, you know, the most oppressed. And if you're black and a woman, you being downtrodden is due to your race, basically. So it's far more likely that you're going to hear a person at the DNC proclaim that we need to end the oppression of black people and women than a person at the RNC saying that white people need to rise up, basically. Like, you're not going to hear those same things.
So don't, like, here's the lie that you tell. And it's a lie that you tell by your omission. There are many people on this side who say today that white people, particularly white men, are the most oppressed group in America. There are people on the side saying that. That is identity politics. And my only point is that people on both sides engage in it. What folks on your side do, however, is pretend that you guys do not engage in identity politics, and then you turn around and make identity politics a boogeyman and accuse the folks on the left of doing it all by themselves. That is a lie.
Well, hold on a second. Because I actually want to push back. We spent like a decade at least of white people bad, especially white men, toxic masculinity. Oh, look at how horrible that your guys' history is. White supremacy is like the biggest thing. In fact, it's everywhere. You can't stop it. You're just basically demonizing the fuck out of white people, and then of course there's all this DEI shit gets instituted. But then all of a sudden it's like, well, now they're kind of stripping it away. I don't consider that identity politics. I see them like literally stripping identity politics from institutions in terms of like hiring and universities. They're not implementing pro-white, discrimination. So that I think that if anything, all they're doing is stripping the identity politics from everyday America as opposed to adding it.
Yeah. So Pepe, the problem with this conversation. Yeah, but Pepe and I were having a back and forth to the tip top. I'm not done. And then we can speak once I'm done. So the problem with this, Pepe, is that you've decided to distort reality for your ends, and that is fine. I will listen and maybe have a time in the future. What I'm not going to do is have a bunch of liars play in my face and then pretend that they're engaging in good faith with me. I'm not going to do that because you just made the ultimate bitch passive. You have told me that the sky is green. That's what you want. And I am not going to concede that. I won't.
Can I respond to Hurricane? Basically, he didn't respond to my point. So when I said that, when I was trying to at least clarify what I thought what Sarah was saying, and I agreed with it, that the right and the left do not apply identity politics the same way. That was the truth. Like, I specifically was trying to reference the level to which they're mainstreamed and promoted by the leaders on either side. And it's factual. You can say there's people on the right that say that white men are the most oppressed ever, or at least today. But you're not going to hear those same people being propelled to the same level that someone like Ketanji Brown, what the fuck her name is, or Ilhan Omar is. Like, you're not going to hear them give those same talking points in the same fashion at the same level. You're just not. And you could say, well, they're hiding it. Okay, well, they're hiding it for a reason because they can't say it in the open according to your own logic. So that's my point.
That's the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah, I was going to add in too real quick. I just put a link in the chat. And typically, whatever Otis is referring to as the right utilizing identity politics, what you're talking about is action response. I put a link in the chat to a clip of Don Lemon broadcasting to the entire world, quote, saying, white men are the biggest terror threat in this country. So it's typically a response. It's the left that is the one that starts it first.
Can you repeat that again? What did Don Lemon say about white men and terror?
The link is in the chat, so you can
I'm not
look at it. So
he said we're the biggest threat. He said white men on the right are the biggest threat to the United States.
Oh, that's right. What he said. Okay.
So typically.
Yeah, he said that recently, or
typically. Hold on.
Okay, 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. So typically, what's going on is the left makes these types of claims, and then the right responds to it. So it's not fair to say that the right uses identity politics when it's literally a response to the bullshit that the left is pointing out.
He said
that's not.
Don Lemon said that after the Buffalo shooting. I believe it was either the Buffalo or the El Paso Walmart shooting that killed 29 Hispanics down here. But look, I don't necessarily agree with that. But my point was, at the end of the spectrum, y'all are talking about the same thing. The only real dividing point when I'm looking at your politics is abortion. It's really the last.
Are you talking about between the far right and the far left, or the right and left in general?
Yeah, just between the parties, right? There's not really and I'm being serious about this. There's not really significant differences between the parties. We feel like there is, but like I look at the issues. I mean, when I look at Trump's platform, it looks like the 1992 Bill Clinton platform, and that's basically what it is. Trump's like a 90s Democrat, right? And so it's that's why I don't disagree with a lot of policies at all.
How is Trump a 90s Democrat? Trump, what are you talking about?
Well, look, again, some shit's gonna be over your head. You just gotta keep up.
No, it's not over my head, please. I know what was happening in the 1990s.
Yeah, well, if you look at the 92 platform, it looks a lot like Trump's current platform.
That's not true.
Not in every way, but it's
that's untrue.
But the point of
it's untrue.
Okay, anyway.
Untrue.
Thanks, Hurricane.
And you can't prove it.
Okay, that's fine. My larger point is, when I'm talking to folks, they're angry at corporations, they're angry at billionaires, they're angry at an elite and executive class on both sides of the aisle. And they feel underpinned by these things because they can't afford what they want, especially when we get to younger folks that can't afford things. And I do think that is a problem. So I see a changing of the guard. I actually think one of the great things about the Republican Party is expanding it. It is bringing in more African Americans. I actually think that's good for America. I do not think it's good to have one party that's got all the African Americans in it. I think that is a bad thing. I think it's good that we're able to have conversations without cussing out each other and calling each other names, right? Because what we're going to face is our real problems are going to be AI and robots and Neuralink, and we don't recognize it how fast this is coming. This is going to be a challenge in probably 2028. It's not going to be 2032. We're going to have a technical problem that we're all going to have to come together on and figure out before we have a major crash. I'll end right there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, you know, the whole race politics shit, that didn't really start until, what was it, maybe around 2012. It started you started seeing the momentum.
Wait, what do you believe started in 2020?
Well, we can look at, actually, I'll fast forward just a tiny bit.
You said you believe something started in 2012.
Sure.
What is it?
Sure, Trayvon Martin, and then, of course, there's Obama's smart-ass comments regarding it, kind of politicizing it himself. Then you had the Black Lives Matter with what is his name? I forget the name of the guy shot near St. Louis. Then that's when you saw BLM. They're doing their like kill him, fry him like bacon, whatever their stupid chant was. And that's when you started seeing, you know, riots occurring. And I remember 2014, 2015 is when you started seeing riots in different cities. All over the country in response to whatever shootings. And I started seeing these racial narratives, and there's a lot of theories behind this. Like most people had, by like 2012, 2013, they had smartphones. People were getting their information in different ways, and they were, prior to that, so people were kind of like getting radicalized. But I definitely. Nobody denies the fact that race started getting into politics a lot more in the 2010s. I mean, and the views on race actually took the shitter.
The blacks start voting en masse for Democrats really in the late 1960s with the civil rights movement with LBJ, but it's really JFK. Because you get Martin Luther King out of jail in the 1960s, that starts to flip the black vote, and then it's voting en masse. Now, I'll grant you, to move it forward to talk about today, social media has had a profound impact upon the world, especially the United States, and how we are able to view certain topics and certain things. Going back to George Floyd, and now going to this incident with Charlie Kirk that we were all able to see, and we were all able to see the shot instantly, without it being edited and cleansed by the media, and so it's had a profound effect on how we communicate. But I'm coming back to that because when I look at chats and I look at the generation that's coming, by the generation coming, I'm talking about people that are 35 to 40 years old. They are much more interracial. They're much more integrated. Where we have a high number of homosexuals and LGBTQ, and Gen Z, it's up to 20%. 1 in 5, it's mainly women, but 1 in 5. 1 in 5 of those individuals in Gen Z are reporting to be LGBTQ. We have a record high interracial relationships of all types of relationships. So the world is actually coming together. It's just hard for a lot of the older people here to see.
Oh, I just wanted to correct things. So Trent, your timeline.
I gotta go watch football.
Yeah, your timeline is wrong. Black people started voting in large numbers for the Democratic Party in 1936, not in 1960. The shift began earlier with FDR. That's when we first started voting for the party of the New Deal. That's when it began. It's not the 1960s. It started earlier, like I said, 1936.
Yeah, he's actually right. It's just that during the 60s, with Barry Goldwater reshaping the Republican Party, is when he started pulling votes away from the Democratic Party. So they had to flip and really hit heavy on the civil rights movement to gain those black votes back, and the Great Society Act.
Yeah, well, I really liked Charlie Kirk's funeral. I didn't go, or memorial service, I should say. But
Why didn't you attend? Why didn't you attend?
I could just stream it, and it's like, fuck it, I don't want to go like there. So the person I know who went, she got there, she arrived there at like 4 a.m. and there was already like thousands of people, and it was just, it's something you'd have to wake up at like 2 a.m. to get ready to go.
Where was it held?
Wait around. It was here in Glendale, Arizona, at the stadium that the Arizona Cardinals play out of.
Yep. Well, at least you guys got a chance to lay his body to rest, give him a good farewell, good homegoing celebration. So it's nice.
Yeah.
I thought Erica Kirk, what she said was just really beautiful.
What did she
I
say?
think that was the best part of it. She talked about the loving relationship she has with her husband and how he treated her and how the values that he wanted to share with others. And then she forgave the killer. She forgave her husband's killer. And she said that it's really more important to not to hate each other, but to answer with love. That the Gospels teach us to love one another. And anyway, I mean, I'm super paraphrasing, but it was just really beautiful and moving. And yeah, anyway, that's what I thought.
Did you attend?
No, I streamed it. I'm not in Arizona. I'm not gonna get a flight. And besides, I feel like watching it at home and streaming it and being able to pause and rewind is probably better than being there in person anyway.
Well, I didn't watch it. So this is all I've heard about it. So
Otis, what do you think of Candace Owens?
What do you mean?
I said, what do you think of her? I don't know what your opinion of Candace Owens is these days.
Oh, I don't think of her. I don't think of her. I don't think that she's particularly interesting. I don't think that she's smart.
So you don't think she's relevant in the landscape of dialogue, essentially, right?
I can't say. I honestly can't say.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that the work she's doing is nefarious, as is the work of the other people on their side with the megaphones.
When you say nefarious, which part of Candace Owens language or discussions have been nefarious, as you put it. What do you say?
I would say most of it. I think that anybody who,
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Go ahead. What's up?
Well, no, you couldn't hear me a minute ago, right? Because I was talking for a minute.
No, I could not hear a minute ago. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, respectful, just to the room title. The only thing I ever heard Charlie Kirk say that to me was just inherently wrong was that if his daughter was raped and got pregnant, that he would force her to have the baby regardless of her opinion or view because it fit in his worldview. That was the only thing that he ever said to me that was inherently wrong. And that's what full context.
You again because you did this earlier.
Wait. That's what. No, I just came in here for the first time.
Did this earlier.
I just came in here for the first time, so I couldn't have done anything earlier.
Well, hold on
so
one second, Ian.
And you're very wrong. Just came here for the first
No,
time.
I'm right.
No, you're very wrong.
Well, I would say this. So I'd hear that argument, but the thing is, though, is you have to look at it. See, the left and the right both look at it as protecting life and protecting the autonomy of a being. Now, the right, they're going to look at that as actual murder. You're killing a baby. It's not just because it's not solely religious.
No, it's religious.
Now they're going to look at this at a baby as being as this autonomous. Well, not completely autonomous because it hasn't been born yet, but this living thing that is a gift from God. That's kind of going to be their religious part, and they look at abortions as wrong, and what they want to do is they want to save the voiceless child that has not yet been born. Now, with that being said, it's them. They're doing it from a moral lens. We cannot necessarily say they're wrong. Now, when it comes to a ideological lens, but then I can use no, it's not.
Yes, it is. Because
and so what I was gonna say, what I was gonna say is that I can do the same. You have an ideological lens where you should protect the health and the freedom of the mother, whether or not she wants to allow a pregnancy to come to term. Now, once again, that's the woman valuing the woman's life over the baby's. But some people are going to do it with the babies over the, some not even over the woman's. They just don't want to have women to have the option to hurt the baby. Now you can get into the. Now, first of all, it is subjective. Okay, you can't say for a matter of fact it. For example, allowing abortion is the morally good thing to do. That's not a stance that's even possible to have. That is literally a subjective opinion.
Yeah.
So then what did he say? Then what did he say? How is what he said actually immoral? It's not inherently immoral because you can't inherently imply morality to it.
Wait. First of all, you cut me off when I was talking. First of all. Second of all, I never said inherently immoral. I said it was inherently wrong in my worldview. I specifically said it that way. Let me equate something to you real quick. Just because I wasn't done when you hopped in, I hear what you're saying. That's simple, bro. There's no thought behind that. Of course, duh. That's the way that he thinks, and that's his morality. This is religion. Of course, that's cookie cutter responses, bro. What else would he have said? But I will say this to you, and I know people are gonna argue because they don't get the equation, but it's simple. In the satanic home, if those satanic parents raise their children sacrificing animals, it could be argued that you can't argue against that because that fits into their worldview. Now, I know you don't like that shit. Okay, cool, me neither, whatever. What I'm saying is his whole view had to do with his worldview, his ideals. It is wrong to kill that baby because my book says so and so. I'm not arguing it. What I'm saying is, to me, that was what was inherently wrong that came out of that man's mouth.
Okay, I got what you said.
Wait. Can I share something? So I'm pro-life and a woman, and the thing is with that, first of all, the likelihood of that ever happening is like,
reality.
You have to win the lottery like 10 times over. So they were trying to get him in a gotcha moment, like, oh, well, don't you think?
Well, to be fair, you should address it though. To be fair, you should address it because the hypothetical, even though it's rare.
Let her finish talking. I'm being simple. Let her finish talking.
So first of all, it's a gotcha question to try to be like, well, you don't really believe that in all cases, do you? And his rationale, it is based on religion. That is true, but it's also based on science because biology teaches us that all human life starts at the moment of conception, and he's just saying if it's a human and it's a human life, then it should be valued and it should be afforded rights as anyone else. And if somebody got pregnant, especially at a young age, that is traumatic, that is horrible. He'd never want that for his daughter. But if it happened, it wouldn't necessarily erase the trauma to surgically have the baby
Two wrongs
away.
make a right. Yeah.
Wait, okay, but what though? No, okay,
But it's
okay.
not
I
another
hear
wrong.
you.
Yeah, it's
No, I hear you, but
be another
though?
wrong. Killing a life.
Here's the-
Let me
here's where
just finish this last little bit. Killing
Killing
a
the baby doesn't fix the rape. It's fucking
Exactly.
stupid.
That's it. Okay, thank
No,
you.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Again, my problem was the way that he put it. He put it, it was his choice to make, and so regardless, that's what was being done. We all know that postpartum depression is a real thing. That
It's for everybody. Every fucking
okay. That's
majority of women have
check it
postpartum
out.
depression.
Yes, sir.
Like,
We agree.
it's
That's
fucking
science.
stupid to say that, Charlie Kirk says, oh, hey, if my daughter was raped, I would force her to have the baby because he doesn't want his grandchild to be snuffed out from fucking life. Killing the baby's not going to fix the fact that she was fucking raped.
You're right.
The point is that
but the thing is that daughter. Wait a minute.
Because she's going to have mental trauma. Wait, so hold on. Killing the baby is going to fix her traumatic experience.
You're emotional.
No, not exactly. I mean,
you're emotional.
If you want to say that I'm emotional because I'm talking about murdering babies, then yes.
You're getting emotional.
Okay, hold on.
Listening. The thing is, the argument goes both ways.
I get emotional about rapists and pedophiles too.
Okay. I know what you're about to say. It goes both ways. No, I want you to answer. I want you to answer the question. How
about this?
Why are you emotional?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Shut the fuck up, everybody. So this is a very simple question. I'll ask for you. Okay. What morally should you value? Hold on.
Don't pretend to be intellectual.
Okay, but you guys literally won't shut the fuck up. Now, God damn. Now, when it comes to, tell me this: is it more morally right or wrong to care for the? Oh, this is fucking stupid. This is why people are racist. You get fucking dumbasses like him. Holy shit!
The whole argument is that he's even engaging in this conversation, which means that he has some type of feeling about it. Like, he's calling me emotional because somebody's stuffing out a fucking baby. And he's like, oh, how dare you get emotional about somebody wanting to kill babies? But you're engaging in this conversation because you hold feelings on this argument that you think that it's okay to fucking snuff babies out of fucking existence.
And you know what else is that the whole abortion industry, at least a big part of it, with Margaret Sanger, it started off as a racist movement.
Yeah,
it was a eugenics movement trying to weed out black babies and kill off black babies specifically.
We don't want it to be heard that we tend to exterminate the Negro population.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, just the fact that, especially if black people are like against abortion, it's just funny to me because the whole reason it started was to kill off black people specifically, and at least Planned Parenthood anyway. I don't know about all of them, but Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger, that was definitely the case.
Hey, but so abortion. Wait.
Let's get a new voice.
Shut up. Let Joe talk.
You're a whole ass
bitch.
You can shut your fucking monkey mouth if you want to go back and sit in the monkey cage, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
You a pussy, what? And you got a wrong faggot ass, what?
Boy.
I'm on the hate with you.
Go ahead, Joe.
All yelling at each other are showing your emotional maturity.
Y'all start
just
talking
stop
about
with the hate.
Yeah, we don't want babies to be burnt out.
Can't even have a rational, legitimate conversation right now.
Let Joe go.
Every room I hop in,
Good Joe.
y'all just
I'm always
fight.
quick.
Let the clean lady man talk.
All right, look, appreciate the mic. Y'all talking my favorite subject right here is, exposing the murder of children. So if we kill 1 million babies a year here in America, and if all 1 million were being killed because the mother was being raped, well, we'd have a rape problem, and we would stop raping. Well, we'd stop people from raping. That would be the issue. The problem we have in America is that we have a baby killing problem, and we need to stop killing babies. So I'm just going to point that out right there. So to raise the obscure point about, well, what happens if, someone has to carry a person, a child that has come from rape. Like Susanna said, it's so obscure.
Well, Joe,
we kill them murder babies.
Let him finish.
I know. I'm adding on to what Joe's saying. Joe, if you murder the baby,
no, it's fine. I like to hear from him. I was just going to end it with the largest threat of human, life is abortion, and it's genocide that's occurring. So we need to bring an end to it.
Well, I do think that
this is why I jump in, Pepe, because as soon as he finishes,
well, I'm not the one who takes. I'm not the one who. I'm not the one who.
No. But you were telling me to shut up. This is the reason I jump in, because nobody lets anybody in. Exactly. So what Paul is saying to Joe is, murdering the baby doesn't undo the fucking rape. It doesn't undo the trauma that was, forced upon that young girl. Killing the baby isn't going to make the young girl, wake up the next morning and go, you know what, I wasn't raped. I forgot all about it.
Well, I do think that everybody likes to talk about the black genocide that's occurred from abortion, but all I can think of is that, these are largely poor black women that would probably make very shit poor mothers. And so that's like 50 million, blacks that, that are largely going to be criminal and violent that, didn't have to really deal with them because they were aborted. I think that's actually a good thing. So I'm actually pro-abortion.
Oh my God! Did you hear guys? Did you hear Dawn Harris? Real quick, did you guys hear Dawn Harris in the fucking chat?
What's
so
the
Dawn
the school shooter?
Hold on, no way. So Dawn Harris in the real quick, no way. Dawn Harris in the chat said that abortion is not nearly as bad as gun deaths in America.
You look like Barbara Bush.
A million
Whoa.
compared to 50,000 deaths from guns. Half of those are suicide. And the rest of them are majority inner city, black on black crime.
But I just want to know, what do poor white motherfuckers turn into? Do they turn into great ass people that run the world?
No,
you
they're
and your
not
life
too.
race, brother.
I was gonna say to Pepe, that theory about yours with the bad mothers and all of that, you semi have a point, but I would say you don't have a point, because if they valued life enough not to kill it, then they probably wouldn't be the bad mothers that it turns out to be. And I really think it's just about, those family values, like Charlie Kirk was talking about, having family values, value life, then, or also there's thousands of people to adopt. So that's also an option. But anyway,
I'm further on the right, and I do believe.
Are these school shooters? Are these motherfuckers born from
majority of school shooters?
Shut up and let me. God damn!
Shut up, small dick bitch.
Go ahead.
Once again, are these school shooters born from trailer trash?
93.9.
Most of the time, I think they come from a variety of backgrounds. Some of them come from upper middle class neighborhoods.
It's a variety, huh? That's worse.
But you know what's but I would say the big difference is that these poor, these white school shooters, no, they make the news because what they do is pretty horrible and disgusting. However, they're actually anomalous. If you think about it, out of the millions of children, you hear of a couple of these, I don't know, the frequent
we may hear about a couple,
and so like this is rare. But you know what's there? Turning on the news Monday morning, we've had 80 shootings today in Chicago this weekend. Who are the victims and who are the suspects? Blacks, alts. That's just a statistical fact. In fact, more than half the homicides in the United States are committed by blacks. So, I don't know. It seems like blacks have a problem.
50.
Okay, and that's cool. Most of the homicides, most of the crime is considered committed by crackers. So that, I get the arguments. It's cool when you throw people in the ghetto, you take away resources and also systematic racism, but y'all don't think that's true. So I can understand, how poor people killing each other. Now you so-called civilized motherfuckers, like the motherfucker that knocked off Charlie K. We no longer gotta say you got JFK. We can upgrade it now to you got.
What about the guy who shot Charlie Kirk?
I'm just saying, we no longer.
Amazing.
JFK. You got
amazing. Amazing.
So why are white?
All right. Okay, you're being a hood rat. Yeah, you're being a hood rat.
No,
stop.
I'm asking questions.
Okay, do I need to start? Okay, monkey, shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
Why are you?
Okay.
Come on, Pepe.
Shut.
Don't use a stupid slur. You're
Well,
just
I have
degrading
to.
Your argument. You're degrading your argument.
Okay, well, hold on a second.
Don't
No,
be
no,
sorry.
no. I'm not Charlie Kirk. I'm not. I'm not going to tell you to go. Hold on. All right, now I got to mute you fucking monkeys. You fucking apes. Can't control yourselves. You fucking monkeys. I have to mute all. Mute all. Wow, he's coming through the mute all. Wow, bad ape. Holy shit. No banana for you, buddy. Now, please. See, he can't help himself. Now, if we look at the shooter, Charlie Kirk, he's an upper middle class background in southern Utah around an all Mormon family. They don't do drugs in Utah. They don't do drugs in Utah. They don't believe in drinking. You get looked down upon even for doing coffee, yes. And so, see, these people. Okay, you dumb. Okay, you got to go. See, and I see you have an ape in your PTR, so I mean, it figures. Now you got to go to the audience. Holy shit, you! That was so rude.
They can't control themselves.
Can't we just all get
caged and they all started screaming?
Can we just all get what happens when you don't live your life through grace and you would rather live it through race? And that's why you change the color.
I agree.
Who else watched the 10 hour?
Ziggy.
Who else watched the 10 hour revival today?
I watched all of it.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll just a sidebar here, but dude, like I grew up in the church for a strong Christian man. I don't go to church enough, once every 2 months, right? But man, I didn't go this Sunday because I wanted to watch it. But man, it's like, okay, I want to, don't need to, because I want to make a difference. And what can I do for the church? What can I do for the people? Church is not a building. Church is people. What can I do with the church to help the people, regardless of color? I don't give a shit what color you are. What can I do with the church for the people that will also preach and teach Christian values and conservative values? It's like, man, I don't want to be the guy looking at the top of the mountain, bottom of the mountain, saying, hey, man, you're going in the wrong direction. I mean it, man. That was a fucking moving day. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't. If you've watched the 10 hours of that and say, well, the Republican Party, no, then you're not being serious.
I just want to say real quick,
Well, I mean, that should show you. You know, you had tens of thousands of these people, these Republicans in one place, and it was all kumbaya. Everybody's behaving. It was, everybody. It was so peaceful, and like, this is what I want to tell, these lefties, these spiteful mutants that are just mad and angry at the world. And maybe they don't believe in God because they were born ugly, and I'd probably hate God too. And they're unhinged with mental illness. I understand your plight, not really. I could pretend to. Now, you all know that if you went into that place, being the most radical, you could be a tranny. Let's just and definitely not pass. Nobody's going to put a finger on you. Nobody's going to be mean to you. See, that is the difference between the left and the right. We are not the same. Occasionally, you bait the right into reacting, and they do, because the right tends to be far more orderly. They're so much more predictable than the left. With the left, you're just like, oh shit, oh god damn it, this is in the news. Oh, see if they fucking chimp out. They can't control themselves. They're angry, spiteful people.
How much do you think? Serious question. After what I saw today and what I've seen over the past couple of weeks, obviously all this is going to die down over the coming weeks, and coming months. But man, don't you think that the Democrat Party has a huge freaking problem on their hands?
Midterms. I do think so.
Doubt. I think it's such a monumental. It's like climbing Mount Everest. How can you overcome a Supreme Court justice that cannot tell me what a female is? You can't.
That's a DEI hire gone wrong. And I would say this. You saw you've seen the hate. Like, look, if some lefty, I don't know, Ezra Klein or something like that. You know, he was just shot in the same fashion, shot in the neck, and he just died, and his family was there. There's thousands of people watching, and a bunch of liberal students were watching. I would feel really sad. In fact, and if any right-winger made fun of the fact that he got shot like that, I would totally talk trash to them, and because I think they're a piece of shit. Now, what you did see is all people on the left showed their ass. They showed how hateful and spiteful they are. And then what you see with like Charlie Kirk and you know all of his followers, you see this nice, beautiful memorial service, and everybody's, you know, it was mainly optimistic. It was obviously mournful, but it was they looked like really nice, wholesome people. And that's what you're missing on the left. But you know who was talking on the left today? We had Jasmine Crockett. That dumb bitch who was on CNN saying, yeah, she is a dumb bitch. And she was basically saying how, I'd feel mad. I'd be disrespecting and shit. You know, there was only two white people, members of Congress, that ended up voting against the Charlie Kirk remembrance. Like, only two white people? It's like, holy shit, you nasty, smug bitch. This, like, race politics is still a thing, and yeah, you're gonna get pushback from the right. Why wouldn't you? You just inject it into everything.
Matt, just I'm sorry. Matt, if I promise that he'll behave himself, can John have a take if he actually speaks and not trolls?
Maybe, but let Matt.
Okay.
No, I would just say I'll end here. I just wonder how much more, like, with the left, like today was a good day. I don't give a shit. You can't, no one can convince me otherwise. You're full of it if you tell me that today's 10-hour revival was just racist slurs. And so when the left, which is the mainstream legacy media, they're already starting more cowbell. Do you think they're ever going to come off the cowbell? Or is it just going to be more cowbell until they don't exist?
All right, Jonathan, no trolling. Go ahead. Come on, kiddo.
Yeah, Matt, are you done
Some of
whispering?
the moderators, the right wingers, moderators. That's how I'm trying to, you know, some solidarity.
First time bring them on.
You don't use it.
You got to behave yourself.
Yeah, everybody on this app and all these politically correct libtard rooms who have been calling Charlie Kirk a racist and that he got what he deserved. They've never presented any evidence. They have no receipts. They're just a bunch of screaming, insane, psychopathic, homicidal ideation losers who have no political power. They're just a bunch of crying, complaining little babies. And the gay African-American ones are generally the most toxic and sociopathic, psychopathic amongst us. You all know it. It's here on this app. You can hear how homicidally ideated many of these black African-American homosexuals are. They call white people the enemy. They talk about strategy on how to kill us. And I can say from a sociological, psychological, observational study, we are living with most likely 60 million highly brainwashed sociopaths that would have no problem killing you or cheering your death if you are a white, heterosexual, Christian, normative male like Charlie Kirk. And so we are in a major, hold on, stop whispering. I can't hear you, Matt. I'm trying to tell you that this country has spent 25 years at war, then engaged in a COVID vaccine war against its own people with a pandemic, scamdemic, and now we have a final cultural war that we are going to.
That's it. Thank you.
He was doing amazing, bro.
I didn't kick him.
It was amazing.
No, it's just a little too much going on, a little too long there.
Well, then give him a chance to land his plane. Don't kick him.
Yeah,
off
he
the
was
stage.
behaving himself and everything.
Yeah, and also, John, like, thank you for your submission. Like, I appreciate it because I think you're a total asshole, for the record, like, as a person, and all the conversations we've had on Clubhouse. But I think that your submission was awesome.
I mean, I think that Charlie Kirk was such a good guy. Thank you, David. I think that Charlie Kirk was that's what offended me is I'm somebody who has like more extremist views than him in some ways. And